Hey there! We're down to the last two lectures of this unit. Now what we're going to look at is how you compare the performance of two different models. We've already talked about how to extract different feature spaces. Actually, in our final lecture, we're going to talk more in depth about some advanced feature extractors, and then you'll come back to what we talk about in this lecture to compare how your performance differs once you start to use those more advanced features. Nevertheless, even within the basic feature extractor, you can create different kinds of models and you can compare their performance. Comparing performance is what we're going to talk about right now. So, as an overview, we're going to learn how to step through the process of doing that formal comparison, even doing a significance test to see if any difference that we see is statistically significant. And we'll also see how you can start to think about the reasons for the differences in performance that you see. So let me step you through. So imagine that you want to compare models that differ based on their feature space. The first feature space will be a unigram-only feature space. And you've already seen how to do the extraction there. And here are the features that you would have extracted. You can see them at the bottom of this screen. Now let's imagine a second feature space. Now we have both unigrams and bigrams selected. And what we want to know is which one of these feature spaces is better. And I should have pointed out that we're talking about the sentiment sentences dataset once again. Now, we have two feature spaces that we have extracted, and now we can run experiments with both of those. So you can see how in the upper left-hand corner in the pull-down menu under Feature Tables, we have selected the unigram model. We have logistic regression selected as our classifier, and we're doing a tenfold cross-validation. And when we do that experiment, we get 75.86% accuracy. Now, if we did the same experiment, but this time with unigrams and bigrams, you can see in the upper left-hand corner that the pull-down menu has indicated that we have 1 and 2 grams in our feature space. And everything else about how we're running this experiment is the same, and this time we have 76.47% accuracy. Now we want to do the comparison. So we're going to go to the Compare Models panel. And you'll see that there are two sides of this interface, one for one model and one for the other model. And you'll see there are pull-down menus where we can pick out those two models. So the first one on the left is the unigram model, and the second one on the right is the model that combines unigrams and bigrams. And if you look below, you can see the performance values, and at the bottom you can see the t-test that has been performed shows that the increase from 75.86% to 76.47% is a marginally significant result. It's just marginal. It's not fully statistically significant. Now let's say we want to get a sense of what's different about these models. We want to compare their confusion matrices, and we want to start to see some examples examples that are misclassified. So we can do that using the difference matrix as you see below. Then you can see the confusion matrix for both of the models, as well as one that compares the two. And using the options on the right, we can start to look at some of the texts that belong to particular cells or combinations of cells. So that's how we can start to do some comparisons between models. This comparison panel makes it really easy to run significance tests so that we can get a sense of whether the differences that we're seeing are large enough that we can consider them non-random. You can go back to the Explore Results panel if you want to do more extensive analysis of what the models are doing, as we saw in the Interpret Weights lecture.